So, this year there's new drivers, there's new cars, there's old drivers with new cars. There's just a lot of different diversity when it comes to this season.
Fans knew him as the fearless racer with nerves of steel, the man behind the roaring Fireball Camaro. But behind Ryan Martin's calm smile and blazing victories lies a story filled with heartbreak, danger, and survival. When tragedy struck the Street Outlaws world, it changed everything, and what followed left millions speechless. This is not just about racing. It's about how close Ryan came to losing it all. The racer who captured hearts. When Street Outlaws first appeared on television in 2013, no one expected it to become one of the most talked-about shows in car culture. It started as a small project showing late-night races on quiet American roads, but soon it turned into a thrilling look into an underground world filled with risk, pride, and pure adrenaline. Viewers could feel the roar of engines through their screens, and they loved the bravery of the racers who chased glory every night. What made Street Outlaws special was its honesty. It did not hide the rough side of street racing or the hard work that went into building the cars. The racers were not actors or celebrities. They were ordinary people with extraordinary skill, people who built their own cars, tested them, broke them, and then rebuilt them again. Each episode felt like a story about real dreams and real danger. Among these racers, a quiet man named Ryan Martin began to draw attention. At first, he was not even one of the main faces on the show. He worked behind the scenes, helping others tune and prepare their cars. But over time, fans noticed something different about him. He spoke little, worked hard, and seemed to understand the heart of every engine he touched. When Ryan finally stepped into the spotlight, it was clear that his passion went beyond winning. His approach to racing showed deep respect for the sport. He treated every car like a living thing, learning its moods, its limits, and its power. His calm nature stood out in a world filled with noise and competition. While others shouted and argued, Ryan focused. While others talked about beating rivals, Ryan talked about improving himself. The show's producers soon realized that viewers were fascinated by him. People saw in Ryan something rare, a man who chased speed but stayed humble. His performance shop, B&R Performance, became famous because he built machines that reflected his quiet confidence. Fans admired how he balanced power with precision and how he turned each race into a test of discipline and control. As Street Outlaws expanded and reached millions of fans around the world, Ryan Martin became one of its brightest stars. Yet, behind that steady gaze and smooth driving style was a story that had begun long before cameras ever found him. From sketches to speed. Ryan Martin's story did not begin in a world of fame or engines. He was born in Ohio in 1977. In a quiet town where life moved slowly and people valued simple joys. As a young boy, Ryan was not the kind of child who dreamed about cars or racing down streets. He was thoughtful and creative, someone who found happiness in painting, sketching, and taking photographs. The world of color and light fascinated him more than the roar of machines. His mother played a huge role in shaping who he became. She taught him to be calm, patient, and grounded. These lessons would later become the foundation of his success as a racer. She often told him that good things take time and that real strength comes from staying steady even when life gets rough. At that time, neither of them knew that her advice would one day help him survive the chaos of the racing world. When Ryan was still young, his family decided to move to Oklahoma. That move changed his life completely. Unlike the peaceful Ohio neighborhoods, Oklahoma had a thriving car culture. Late at night, the streets echoed with the sound of engines as young racers competed for pride and reputation. Ryan was fascinated by what he saw. At first, he was only curious. He would stand by the roads, watching cars zoom past, wondering how those machines could move so fast. As he grew older, his curiosity turned into passion. His first car, a modified Mustang, became his classroom. He spent endless nights learning how every part worked. He made mistakes, fixed them, and learned again, boss. What began as a hobby soon became an obsession. He was no longer satisfied with just watching races. He wanted to understand the power behind every turn of the wheel. His talent for working with engines caught attention quickly. Ryan began helping other racers improve their cars, and his reputation spread among local drivers. He was not loud or boastful. He let his work speak for him. Over time, this quiet young man from Ohio built something incredible. A dream that combined his love for art and mechanics. He co-founded B&R Performance, a garage that would soon become a legendary name in Oklahoma's racing scene. Ryan had transformed from an artist with a sketchbook to a craftsman with wrenches and engines. Every car he touched carried a bit of his creativity, precision, and heart. Yet deep inside, he knew that fixing cars was only half the dream. Watching others race their machines sparked something inside him that refused to fade. He had mastered building cars, but a question haunted him. Could he drive one as skillfully as he built it? That thought alone was enough to change the course of his life forever. The making of a street outlaw. Ryan Martin's rise into the world of street outlaws was not a story of sudden fame. It was the result of years of silent work, endless testing, and a deep belief in his own ability. Before television cameras ever captured his image, Ryan had already built a solid name for himself among Oklahoma's racers. When the producers of Street Outlaws were searching for new talent, Ryan was already part of the racing scene, helping others behind the curtain. But soon, his calm skill and precision caught the attention of racers like Justin Shearer, known as Big Chief. They noticed that Ryan not only understood cars, but also carried himself with quiet confidence. He was the kind of person who did not need to talk big because his results spoke for him. Eventually, Ryan was invited to join the Street Outlaws crew. It was a big step for him. Until then, his life had been comfortable in the garage, where he was in control. Joining a television show meant competition, pressure, and eyes watching every move. Still, he accepted the challenge. He was ready to prove that he was not only a car builder, but also a racer capable of handling any situation. But behind the bright lights and roaring crowds, a new kind of danger was waiting. It was not about rivalries or rankings this time. It was about survival itself. One mistake, one spark, could change everything. Ryan's brush with death. Street racing is thrilling, but behind the excitement hides a truth that every racer knows too well. One wrong move, one small error, can turn victory into tragedy. For Ryan Martin, that truth became terrifyingly real one day in 2022 when his legendary Fireball Camaro turned from a machine of glory into a ball of fire. Just before a big race, Ryan and his crew noticed something was not quite right. The car's engine sounded uneven, a faint sign that something was wrong deep inside. He and his team worked late into the night, taking apart sections of the car, checking each system, hoping to fix the issue before race day. They replaced parts, tuned the engine, and tightened every bolt. Still, there was a sense of unease. On the day of the race, the stands were packed. Fans cheered as Ryan rolled the Fireball Camaro to the starting line. He wore his familiar calm expression, but inside he was fully alert. The lights flashed, engines screamed, the race began. For the first few seconds, everything felt perfect. The car roared down the track with its usual strength, but then something went horribly wrong. Midway through the run, the Fireball Camaro suddenly burst into flames. Spectators gasped as fire engulfed the car. Pieces of debris scattered across the track. Smoke filled the air so thickly that no one could see what had happened. For a moment, everyone thought the worst. But through the chaos, Ryan fought to stay calm. He knew every inch of that car, and his instincts took over. He pulled off his belts, forced open the damaged door, and jumped clear of the burning vehicle just in time. Safety crews rushed toward him, and the crowd fell silent, waiting for a sign. Moments later, Ryan stood up, covered in ash, but alive. The car was completely destroyed, its metal body twisted and scorched. The flames had eaten through everything Ryan had built. Later, when asked about it, Ryan described the moment as feeling like a bomb had gone off around him. He remembered the noise, the heat, and the confusion. But what stayed with him most was gratitude. He was alive. The accident was a chilling reminder of the risks behind the glory of street racing. It showed that even the best racers, with the safest equipment, were never completely protected. For weeks after the crash, Ryan's fans flooded social media with messages of support. Many feared he would step away from racing after such a near-death experience. But Ryan was not built to quit. Just days after the fire, he was back in his shop, sleeves rolled up, examining the wreckage of the Fireball Camaro. Where others might have seen ruins, he saw a challenge. His focus was already on rebuilding, on coming back stronger, faster, and safer. Still, while he faced the danger on the track with strength, another kind of struggle was unfolding away from the public eye. It was not about engines or crashes this time. It was about love, family, and the quiet life he had built outside the roar of the crowd. The real man behind the wheel. Away from the roaring engines and the shining lights of Street Outlaws, Ryan Martin lives a life that few people get to see. Beneath the helmet and fame is a man who treasures peace, love, and family more than any trophy he has ever won. Those who know him closely describe him as humble and gentle, a complete contrast to the fearless driver who dominates the track. Ryan's heart belongs to a woman named Cherish Casey, whom he met in a sweet, almost movie-like way on a blind date. What began as a simple meeting between two strangers quickly turned into something special. Their connection was effortless, and over time, their bond deepened. They became partners not only in life, but in strength, standing by each other through every victory and every hard moment. Their love story grew stronger when they welcomed their son Dax into the world. The arrival of their little boy changed Ryan's life forever. For years, he had lived for racing, spending countless nights on the road, testing cars, and chasing perfection. But when he held Dax for the first time, he discovered a different kind of purpose, one that had nothing to do with speed or fame. His son became his calm after every storm. Those who follow Ryan on social media sometimes see rare glimpses of this softer side. Posts of him playing with Dax or smiling beside Cherish show a man full of love and gratitude. Despite his success, Ryan has always kept his private life quiet. He believes that some things are too precious for the public eye. Cherish, known to fans as Mama Fireball, has been his biggest supporter. She travels with him when she can, cheering him on through both wins and losses. She has seen the sacrifices that come with racing, the endless hours of preparation, the dangerous crashes, and the emotional toll it takes. Yet, she never stops believing in him. Their relationship stands as a pillar of stability in a life that often spins at full speed. Even with his growing fame, Ryan makes sure that family always comes first. He often says that his greatest joy is coming home to the laughter of his son and the warmth of his partner. Those quiet evenings at home, far away from the track, remind him why he fights so hard in his career. But the world of street racing has a way of pulling people into chaos when they least expect it. The rumor that broke the internet. In August 2022, news broke that Street Outlaws racer Ryan Fellows had died in a horrific accident while filming Street Outlaws, fastest in America in Las Vegas. His Nissan lost control near the finish line, rolled several times, and burst into flames. It was a tragedy that stunned both fans and fellow racers. The show's producers and Discovery Channel released heartfelt statements honoring his life and sending support to his family. But as the story spread across the internet, a cruel misunderstanding began to take shape. Some fans mixed up the names and faces of the two Ryans, Ryan Fellows and Ryan Martin. Within hours, false reports flooded social media, claiming that Ryan Martin, the star driver of the Fireball Camaro, had died in the crash. The mistake spread quickly, especially on fan pages and online forums. People began posting tributes, sharing photos, and expressing their grief over someone who was, in reality, alive and well. Ryan's team had to act immediately. They released a statement confirming that he was safe and that the tragic accident had involved Ryan Fellows, not him. But by then, thousands of fans had already seen and shared the false news. Some refused to believe the correction right away, convinced that something was being hidden. For Ryan, it was a surreal experience, to be alive but see the world mourning his supposed death. He later spoke quietly about the moment, saying how deeply he felt the loss of Fellows and how painful it was to watch the confusion unfold. Ryan had known Fellows as a passionate and fearless racer, a man who loved the sport just as much as he did. The reality of losing a fellow competitor, combined with the mistaken rumors about his own death, left Ryan shaken. It made him realize just how fragile life in their world truly was. Street racing is thrilling, but it carries risks that never go away. Every race is a gamble, and even the most skilled driver cannot control everything. The death of Ryan Fellows reminded everyone that behind the fame and adrenaline are real people, with families, friends, and dreams. It pushed Ryan Martin to think deeply about his own path, how far he was willing to go, and what sacrifices he was willing to make for speed. Fans, too, began to see a new side of him. Many sent him heartfelt messages, telling him how relieved they were that he was alive. Some admitted that the false news had made them realize how much his presence on Street Outlaws meant to them. The incident became a turning point. It was not just about racing anymore. It was about survival, family, and gratitude. Even after clearing the confusion, Ryan carried the weight of the tragedy in his heart. He kept racing, but he did so with a new sense of respect for life and the dangers that came with every race. He often reminded younger drivers that every moment on the track should be treated with care and responsibility. Still, while he remained grateful for his safety, the question of what if never completely left him. The line between glory and disaster in street racing was thinner than ever. And yet, despite all the risks, Ryan refused to walk away. There was something inside him, a drive, a passion, a fire that kept pulling him back to the start line. As the years passed, Ryan achieved something incredible. He became a 3-time No Prep Kings champion, earning respect from competitors who once doubted him. His focus, precision, and calm presence turned him into one of the most feared yet admired drivers in the racing community. Other racers often said that Ryan never lost control, not of his car, not of his emotions, and not of his dream. Beyond the fame, he continues to run B&R Performance, his shop in Oklahoma City, where he helps other racers chase their own goals. It is not unusual to find him there late at night, hands covered in grease, helping someone fine-tune their engine, or sharing advice about safety and discipline. For Ryan, success means giving back to the community that helped shape him. But behind every strong man is a reason that keeps him moving. For Ryan, that reason is his family. Cherish and their son Dax remain his greatest source of strength. No matter how many trophies he wins, his happiest moments are still the simple ones. A laugh from Dax, a quiet evening at home, a shared smile before another long race weekend. Ryan's story is one of resilience, love, and unshakable will. He has faced fire, loss, and fear, yet his heart continues to race toward the next challenge. Fans admire him not just for his victories, but for his spirit. He represents something deeper than racing. Fans admire him not just for his victories, but for his spirit. He represents something deeper than racing. He represents the idea that no matter how many times life burns you down, you can rebuild stronger. Today, Ryan stands as one of the greatest names in modern street racing. Yet he speaks with the same humility he had when he was just a mechanic in Oklahoma, building cars and dreaming of speed. He often says that racing is more than competition. It is a reminder that every second counts, both on and off the track. What do you think? Is Ryan's next race going to be his greatest victory or his biggest test yet? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.